Millions of Americans have errors in their Social Security earnings record, and most have no idea. A single missing year could quietly reduce your monthly benefit by $50, $100, or even more every single month for the rest of your retirement. Today I'm going to show you how to check your record in just a few minutes and exactly what to do if something is wrong. By the end of this video, you'll know where to find your statement, what to look for, and how to request a correction that could increase your monthly payment. The document is called your Social Security Statement. You can access it for free through your My Social Security account at SSA.gov. If you're 18 or older, you can create an account and sign in to view your earnings history. Your statement shows every year of earnings on record. That year, by year history, is what Social Security uses to help calculate your retirement benefit. Think of this statement as your personal earnings report for retirement. Every time you worked, your employer should have reported your wages to Social Security. That record is important because it directly determines how much you receive each month. But the record is not always perfect. Name changes, employer filing errors, missing W-2s, or simple data entry mistakes can all create gaps that nobody catches. We've heard from viewers who found years of missing earnings they never knew about, and after correcting the record, their monthly benefit went up. One viewer discovered a 3-year gap that had been reducing her benefit by over $130 a month. She had no idea until she checked. If 1 year of earnings is missing or recorded incorrectly, it could reduce your benefit depending on your earnings history. And when you claim, even one missing year can mean $50 to $200 less per month. And over a 20-year retirement, that adds up to tens of thousands of dollars. That's real money. And it's money you already earned. The only reason it wouldn't reach you is an error in a record. A record you have the right to correct. Here's why this is worth checking carefully. Social Security calculates your benefit using your 35 highest years of earnings adjusted for inflation. If you have fewer than 35 years on record, those missing years count as zeros. That lowers your average and lowers your monthly payment. If you have a year that should be in your top 35, but the earnings are too low or missing, correcting it may improve your benefit going forward. Here's the good news. You can fix mistakes in your earnings record, even if you're already receiving benefits. Social Security allows corrections when you have proof, things like W-2s, tax returns, or pay stubs. If your record is corrected, Social Security can recalculate your future benefit. That doesn't mean every case creates a large increase, but it does mean the correction could help you receive the amount you're actually owed. Step 1. Go to SSA.gov and sign into your My Social Security account. If you do not have an account, you can create one for free. The setup usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes. Step 2. Once logged in, find your Social Security statement or earnings record. The layout may change, but you're looking for the section that shows your yearly earnings history. Step 3. Review each year carefully. You're looking for 2 things specifically. First, blank or 0 years. If you worked that year and nothing appears in the record, that is a red flag. Something did not get reported. Second, suspiciously low numbers. If you had a full-time job that year, but Social Security is showing much less than what you actually earned, that could be a data error worth correcting. One important note, Social Security only taxes earnings up to the annual taxable maximum. If your income was above that cap, the statement will stop the limit. That is normal and not an error. Step 4. Compare the years that look off with your own records. W-2s are the best source because they show exactly what your employer reported. Old tax returns and pay stubs can also help. If Social Security shows one amount and your documents show another, that's the discrepancy you want to correct. In some cases, you may be able to start this process directly through your My Social Security account online. If not, use Form SSC 7008. That's the official request for correction of earnings record. Fill in the year or years that need to be corrected. Attach copies of your supporting documents, your W-2s, tax returns, or pay stubs. Then send the form to Social Security using the mailing instructions printed on the form itself. This request is completely free. Social Security will review your records and documents, and if the correction is approved, earnings history will be updated. Social Security typically takes about 10 to 90 days to process a correction request. Some cases are simple and move faster. Others take longer, especially if older records or missing employer files are involved. If you don't hear back after a reasonable time, follow up by phone or check your account status online. For recent earnings, keep in mind that Social Security may not finalize the newest year right away. If the most recent year looks incomplete, give it time before assuming it's error. Social Security uses your 35 highest years of earnings to calculate your monthly benefit. If even one of those years is too low because of a record error fixing, it may raise your average earnings and increase your payment permanently. That is why 10 minutes today is absolutely worth it, especially if you worked many years ago, changed jobs often, were self-employed, or had a name change. This is especially important if you worked during decades when payroll reporting was more manual. Think the 1970s, 80s, or 90s. Also, if you had multiple employers, part-time jobs, or self-employment income, it matters too if you changed your name, use different versions of your Social Security number, or believe some wages may not have been reported correctly. And if you're still working after claiming benefits, those newer, higher earning years can sometimes replace older, lower years in your top 35. That's another reason to check. After you submit a correction request, stay patient, but stay alert. Keep copies of everything you send. If Social Security needs more information, they may reach out to you. If your correction is approved, your record is updated, and your future benefit is recalculated based on the corrected earnings, the main thing is to act sooner rather than later. Older records can be harder to verify, so the earlier you catch an error, the easier it is to fix. The bottom line is simple. Your Social Security statement shows what Social Security believes you earned. If that record is wrong, even by 1 year, your benefit could be lower than it should be. The statement is free. The review takes about 10 minutes, and the correction process is straightforward when you have the right documents. Don't leave money on the table that you already earned. Tonight, if you haven't already, go to SSA.gov and pull up your Social Security statement. Sign in. Open your earnings record and go through it year by year. If something looks wrong, gather your W-2S or tax returns and submit a correction using Form SSA. 7008. It is free, it is your right, and it could make a real difference in your monthly income. If this video helped you, please share it with someone who is approaching retirement or already receiving Social Security. They may never know this record exists until someone tells them.